So I spent my Christmas break from the pandemic like most people. I quarantined and tested myself and went to visit my parents. And on Christmas Day, I got to watch what I've been waiting months for: NBA basketball on Christmas on ABC. But the games were pretty whack this year, so I asked my family if they wanted to watch the new Wonder Woman movie because I can't help myself but not to watch these comic book movies. Now, I liked the first Wonder Woman, and my parents loved the first Wonder Woman movie, so we fired up the HBO box and went ahead. First things first, no spoilers, obviously. If you haven't seen the movie yet, I'll tell you how I felt about it. When I want to start laughing at the movie, I'll tell you it's spoiler time. Also, I don't know what the statute of limitations are on using clips from the movie, so I'm just going to use stills and probably play some Injustice. Now, I've seen a lot of black and white when it comes to how people felt about the movie, but with like most things, there's a lot of gray here, and the general public just wants to get their takes off. I feel like my overall feelings about the movie were that it wasn't great, but there were some good bits in there that kept me watching and harkened back to enjoying comic books and comic book movies. I don't know if we're all just deprived, but I was really happy to be watching a new movie. This movie was written by Patty Jenkins.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Come on, Patty. You better come out. Come on, Patty!
And Jeff Johns. If you read comic books at any point in the last 20 years like I have, you probably know who Jeff Johns is. He's written a lot. He's even written for some of those CW shows, which are their own can of worms.
Fuck Batman.
Patty is the director from the first movie, and she's done a lot of TV stuff before. She's also making a new Star Wars movie about squadrons. It sounds pretty lit, I'm not gonna lie. And of course, she directed the first movie and did a fine job, I think. These two team up and write some nice love letter stuff for Diana. She uses a lot more of her iconic weapons and stables than in the first movie. Like, she uses her lasso of truth for everything in this movie, and I appreciate it. That being said, both of them are known for more long-form storytelling like comic books and TV, and you can tell because this movie is a whole 2 hours and 30 minutes, which is just way too long for the story beats here. The story is kind of cool, some of it is nice, but I feel like they overcomplicated a lot of things and took their time where they didn't need to. They could have easily cut this into an hour and 45, but hey, it's like DC's signature at this point. I know it's a meme to say Gal Gadot can't act, and to be fair, she was known for like being pretty in Fast and Furious movies before being casted as Diana. That being said, you can tell she's getting more comfortable in the role in this movie compared to her other appearances. And that's really all I can say about her performance. Chris Pine is here, and I was really interested to see how they were going to bring Steve Trevor back, but we'll get into that later. Kristen Wiig was an interesting casting choice for Cheetah, but I don't mind seeing comedians try their hand at a fun role. That being said, Cheetah's not really known to be a funny character, and I feel like the joke writing just wasn't there for her. Now, the main reason I wanted to watch the movie is because the Mandalorian himself is here playing the big bad guy. Pedro Pascal is really giving it up in this movie. He really does the best with what he's given and has fun with each aspect of Max Lord. By the way, Max Lord is a dumb name. Sorry, I'm not sorry. The movie's dumb, but it is kind of fun, and that's really all I have to say spoiler free. If you're even mildly interested, go watch it. There's literally no reason not to. I'm pretty sure you can just get an HBO Max free trial and watch it, but I didn't say that. Also, it's only up for like 30 days, so go for it. Alright, now we can really get started because this movie is pretty wild in the good and in the bad, which is why I think people's opinions are so drastic. Patty starts this movie the same as last time with little babby Diana showing off what a prodigy she is. She's in this gladiator competition race thing in this grand stadium. DC seems to really have a boner for these CGI audiences. It's in Aquaman and it was weird, and it's here and it's still pretty weird. The opening is kind of long, but it's pretty cool because I know little girls are going to watch this and see all the cool shit that she's doing and feel like they can do it too. Representation is cool, and it works. It worked on me. I wanted to be goddamn Shark Boy of all people because when I was a kid, Taylor Lautner was vaguely brown and had a lava GF, and I wanted one too. Anyways, Diana's mom yells at her for taking a shortcut in the race after she dicks around and falls off her horse. This sets the first theme in the movie that liars are bad, and if you lie, you should feel bad. I actually like this. It's dumb, but it sets up a reason to make the lasso such a big deal in this movie, and I want to see the lasso, goddammit. Now there's a time skip to the 80s where we watch the movie beat off about how cool the 80s are like it's Ready Player One or Stranger Thing. I was worried that this movie was going to do the same thing the last movie did, which is inserting heroes in real life historical situations because that shit is so dumb to me. It can be pretty funny though, like didn't Magneto kill JFK in an X-Men movie? What the fuck was all that about? Anyway, this movie creates its own story instead of blaming the deadliest war of all time to Ares, played by fucking Professor Lupin with his goofy ass mustache. So good on them for that. Now we meet Kristen Wiig as Cheetah and she feels really familiar. I don't know why they want the Wonder Woman franchise to steal everything. The first movie was a little heavy-handed with the first Avenger copying, but in this one it's only mild, so maybe next time it'll be none. Too Long Didn't Watch Diana stops a heist in the beginning of the movie, and now Cheetah's telling her about this fucking uncut gem that they were apparently after. Apparently this gem was infused by like a Latin god, and I feel like they kind of make references between Pedro Pascal being Latin and the gem being Latin. It's a little weird. So Diana holds this gem and is like, man, I really wish Chris Pine was in this movie to spend the whole time ogling at things in the 80s. Oberyn Martell finally shows up, and he's like a shit-eating TV personality with his own oil drilling company. Alright, why not? So the point of the uncut gem is that it grants you a wish but also takes what you value most. So Diana wishes for a dick appointment, but her powers weaken throughout the movie. Kristen Wiig wishes to be like Diana, giving her powers, and she loses nothing actually. Things get nothing but better for her throughout the movie. It really does not make sense. Max Lord wishes that he was the uncut gem.
Oh, son of a bitch! What? It's me, Austin! It was me all along, Austin!
But loses his connection to his little kid who looks nothing like him. Now I get that, it makes sense, you want the villain to be better, but the first scene you meet his kid, Max doesn't even know it's his weekend to spend with the kid. He's already losing him, it doesn't seem like he cares that much, so why is it that the MacGuffin takes that from him? I feel like they vaguely mentioned that he's losing his health because he always wants to take vitamins in the movie, but it's such a throwaway line that it doesn't really make sense in that regard either. Anyways, they all get invited to a party that Max is throwing, and that's where Diana meets Steve, who's possessed somebody else's body. Diana is the only person that sees him as Chris Pine, and everybody else sees this other attractive dude. Also, why does he possess somebody? That didn't need to happen. Later in the movie, other people's wishes, like fucking nuclear weapons, just apparate out of thin air. Why do we need a possession? It's fucked up. That dude had his own life, his own apartment, and cool shoes, but we're supposed to ignore it because Diana's horny? It's so weird. Oh, by the way, this movie in general is super horny. Mando has sex with Cheetah to get the Dragon Balls. Every man that walks by Diana and Barbara, that's Cheetah's name by the way, tries to hit on them. It's pretty jarring. Anyways, Max loses everything, so he uses the gem to make himself be able to grant wishes and fucks off to Egypt.
Well, don't forget about Egypt. Egypt? God damn! I didn't know he was going all the way back to Egypt.
To go take their oil and their wealth. I was on board till right around this point. It gets kind of weird from here on out. Wait, actually, this is where my favorite scene happens. Diana and Steve steal a jet to try to get to Egypt too. I don't know how Steve knows how to fly a jet with technology 30 years after he died, but whatever. The scene built a little tension and it looks like they're gonna get shot down as they're stealing the jet. But Diana says, wait, I'm Violet from The Incredibles actually, and we get Wonder Woman's invisible jet. It's pretty cool, and it's the first time in the movie Steve has anything of value to say. Oh, and the movie reminds you it was supposed to come out on 4th of July because the American exceptionalism comes out of completely nowhere. Anyways, now the movie gets kinda bad. Max Lord gets a hold of Cairo and makes a big goofy wall so the stereotypical Middle Eastern bad guy can segregate people. Alright, that's kinda weird. Oh hey, it's the dad from Remy. Anyways, Diana goes to stop him, and man, the action in this scene ranges from pretty fun to how the hell are we still doing this in 2020. Whenever Diana runs, it looks like she's green screened and sped up. Even when she flies later in the movie, it looks like the show from the 80s. You can try and say it was an homage to the show, but it just looks so bad. Also, I don't know why they thought it was a good idea to put Gal Gadot into Middle Eastern affairs in this movie given her controversies. I'm not going to tell anybody how to feel about her and all that stuff, but go look into it. It's not great. Why did you guys put her here? It's just stoking the flame. Anyways, after they leave Egypt, Barbara shows Diana, you know what, I'm just going to keep calling her Cheetah. So Cheetah introduces Diana to this weird Mayan descendant, but it's played by an Indian dude and they kind of joke about not having a real Mayan. It was really weird. Anyways, Diana ditches Cheetah and Max turns into the president by talking to Reagan, which is also yikes. So after turning heel, Max grants Cheetah another wish where she says she doesn't want to be like Diana. She wants to be an apex predator. But the leap in logic from saying apex predator to becoming a full cat lady later in the movie just didn't really make sense to me. However, this is the scene where you can tell that she's gonna go full cat lady, and I was so excited to see how bad that was gonna look. So Max is on his way to broadcast his wishes to everybody else in the world like a true villain should, and Diana and Steve realize he has to go back to being a ghost because she's getting weak. The scene where Diana and Steve say bye to each other takes so long because their relationship isn't that developed. They cry for a little while, she walks away, and she legitimately just yells out, "I renounce my wish!" And we don't even see him vanish. Oh, and now she can fly because Steve was telling her about the wind and the air, and now she can airbend? It looks really bad. Now we get the fight between Cheetah Focaling and Diana. Goodness gracious, does Cheetah look pretty bad in this. She looks like a mix of this and this. This is the best part of the movie because they made it pitch black like the Battle of Winterfell. It looks so bad, it's funny. Anyways, Diana electrocutes both of them in water and she's fine, but Cheetah's not. Now that we already got our big dumb CGI fight, Diana and Max's confrontation is supposed to be more about morals. He is granting everybody's wish on TV, which is causing an entire apocalypse. And she begins to broadcast her thoughts to the world and tell everybody they must yell, "I renounce my wish!" for the betterment of society. Usually this would be pretty cool, but in a year where it's hard to get people to put a mask on their face to save their fellow person, it's kinda hard to believe. Either way, she talks Max off the ledge because she shows him that this apocalypse stuff is really bumming out his kid, just completely throwing off the vibes. So he now says, "I renounce my wish," and everything else. Also, his kids somehow find them so they can discuss what they've learned, but the last time we saw the kid, they were in Washington, D.C., and from what we can tell about the broadcasting is coming from, it's way too far to believe a child walked there. Anyways, now everything is back to normal and we cut to Christmas time where Diana meets the dude that Steve possessed. He seems like a really cool dude and she just stares at him. It's supposed to be a sweet scene, but she has seen that man's dick before without his knowledge. I don't know, the whole possession thing was really weird and the movie seems to kind of just joke about it. It was pretty uncomfortable. Anyways, I don't know, this movie is like a 3 or 4, no, yeah, a 3. A 3 out of 7. It doesn't really matter. I'm happy to be watching another movie. Also, the mid-credit scene is pretty cool. Go watch it. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please subscribe. And if you didn't like the video, just subscribe anyways. This is my first video, so there's nowhere to go but up from here. My next video is going to be about the Marvel Disney Plus shows. Ooh. So look forward to that. Also, if you'd like, you can follow me for dumb jokes on my Twitter. Anyways, have a good 2021. Thanks, y'all.